guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains of North Carolina. It's midsummer and I'm kind of caught up with farming stuff, but I have had a little bit of time to get out and go hunting, as we call it, for new radios, and I came across these. As a matter of fact, I came across these all at the same little yard sale I drove by one Sunday afternoon. And it's kind of the gauntlet of Cobra's productions back in the day. We have a Cobra 19 Plus over here. And that's a pretty base model. They still make the Cobra 19. In fact, I would bet you that it's probably neck and neck between a Cobra 19 and a Cobra 29 as far as what the most popular or most commonly sold Cobra is on the planet. And the reason I say that is, although you think about the Cobra 29 as the trucker's radio, actually the Cobra 19 is the one that most people end up with when they get started in the hobby. These are still available at Walmart. I don't know about Target, but Kmart carries them as well. And, you know, Radio Shack used to carry them. They're pretty, I mean, they've had a lot of different styles. There's the Cobra 19 started off as, you know, a pretty base model. This is the Plus. It had a digital LED readout and the digital meter readouts. And then they've gone on to the 2 and the 3 and the 4. And here's some pictures of them. I know I've owned at least 2 of these. So here's a few photos there. And it kind of competes with Midland's 1000Z, which is a picture of it here. They're really very, very similar in size and function and just easy to get at. You can pick these up brand new for about 35 bucks even to this day. They're very little in the way of flashiness, but they're pretty cool anyway. And then you move up to the Cobra 25, and I don't think they make the Cobra 25 anymore, but that was kind of the medium range Cobra for its day. And this one's in pretty decent shape, all things considered. It's got a lot of use. Some of the name or like the printing where volume and squelch is there, it's actually worn off. And I've cleaned these up a bit. This one here is a lost cause, but this one here, the meter's stuck. I need to clean it. But other than that, it's functional. And it has, you know, volume, squelch, dynamic, which is mic gain, and then we have RF gain, which is also nice. So moving up from the base model, which you only have volume and squelch. And you have channel 9, 19, that's nice, but the tuning on that is kind of goofy, having the up-down buttons. They got rid of that in newer models. This one has 919, but it also adds dim and bright. It also offers noise blanker, which is nice, and ANL, so that's also nice. So this also has PA mode, which is a step up from the 19. So this one you would find in a lot of cars back in the day, cars and small pickup trucks. Non-professional, but drivers who are more serious about having a decent radio. And the 25 is still a decent radio. If you were to want to pick up an AM-only radio on eBay right now, the 25 is probably a really good deal because it kind of gets overlooked for its bigger brother here, the 29. And that brings us to the 29. This is a 29 LTD Classic. There's many different models of these. Now they've gone to a very cool-looking digital faceplate. But this is the one that most of folks out there will remember from the day, because it was around for a very, very long time. And this one's seen some serious usage. It's got an upgraded mic, and it's just kind of a little beat up. But it did clean up fairly well, and it is also functional. Volume, squelch, dynamite, which is mic gain, RF gain. But this one also has Delta Tune. Now that's a function that you really don't need much anymore, but you might still come across, especially on AM mode. So on sideband you have what's called a clarifier, and a clarifier allows you to compensate for channel drift by turning the dial a little bit left or right, and it brings you left of frequency or right of frequency, so you can pick up a signal more clearly. Delta Tune is the exact same function for AM mode, so Delta Tune allows you to move a little bit off the band, off the channel, left or right, so you can better focus in on the signal that you're trying to listen to. So that's kind of a cool thing. Now this one also adds that function as well as an SWR/calibration mode, which is kind of like my unit up here has. Don't need an SWR meter, it's got it built in, so that's also a nice function. Here on this side it has the switches for calibrate, SWR, and reflected power. Again, it has CB and PEA modes, but it also has noise blanker and ANL as part of that switch. Dim and bright, and then normal and local, I think, is the connection there. So this one's been modified. One of these buttons, I think it's this last one over here, is now for talkback. So I'm going to bet you $1 that this one was installed in a truck at some point in its life. Not a lot of folks doing the talkback thing with you know, cars or pickup trucks, but guys that were driving 18-wheelers, who were driving dump trucks, a lot of noise in the cab, wanted to know that they were sounding okay, so they would get the talkback mods for these things. Some of the newer radios, the 980 SSB from Uniden has talkback built in, so there's a lot of more expensive 10 meter or export radios that also have that function. So that's something nice that the old Cobras had or were easily modified to have. Now, the downside to any of these three is they're AM only, but you can usually find these for a fairly good deal. In fact, I picked up 3 of these. There was a microphone with this one, but it was trash, so I went ahead and got rid of it. And I got all 3 of these for $7. Yeah. Now, they didn't look quite as nice as they did. They've been sitting in somebody's garage or barn for a very, very long time and had been collecting, we'll call it dust, but it probably wasn't really dust. And God knows how long they've been out there. But I got them, and when I first got them, these 2 didn't work. That one worked, but made quite a whine. Took them apart and cleaned all the stuff out of the insides of them, put them back together again, and lo and behold, all 3 are now working. One thing that's kind of interesting about the Cobra 19 is that it's a 5-pin, like a Radio Shack 5-pin DIN setup, whether these 2 are both 4-pin. And I don't remember that being the case with the Cobra that I had, which was a little later model of the 19, but that's out there as well, something to think about. So anyway, this is it. If you wanted a Cobra back in the day, these were the 3 for AM, and then if you wanted to go up to the big boy, it was the 142 or 148. I can't remember which was the base and which was the mobile, but about the same size as the Cobra 29, but added sideband and considered to be one of the great radios of its time. Pretty much the equivalent of the Unit and Grant XT or LT from back in the day. So that's it. I'm Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms. Wanted to show you these. I'll do a review of these radios individually, go more in depth, but I just want to show you well, what's happening here at Farpoint in the summer. Still working on the antenna tower. Life gets in the way sometimes, so time is all I'm waiting for. I've got all the stuff, I just got to find the time. And a helper wouldn't be too bad of a thing too, because it's going to be kind of crazy getting it lifted. But that's it. I'll see you next time. Take care.
There's always something that needs a little fixing on